Hello and welcome to the Tapt Market Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Scarborough. I'm an entrepreneur who has started, acquired, and more importantly, is focused on growing companies. In this podcast, you'll hear from entrepreneurs about how they got their start, what their company is about, what has worked for them to get to this point, and how they plan to build their brands. Expect to find actionable tactics that you can use to grow your business and get motivated to get through the grind into a meaningful entrepreneurial outcome that will change your life. I'm thrilled to have you here. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and Instagram at Tapt Market, and let me know if you've been listening to the podcast. I love connecting and hearing from you. All right, let's get to it. Hey everybody, it's Troy from the Tapt Market Podcast, where we're talking to entrepreneurs in the grind. Today, just wanted to do a quick brief introduction of Emily Countryman of ShiftSetGo, but I need to preface this podcast. We ended up having two podcasts that had heavy mic errors, and it just makes the sound on my mic just a little bit off. So we wanted to make sure we took a minute to preface listening to this podcast and make sure that everybody knows that this is about the entrepreneurs. Giving them the time and the ability to tell their story is the most important piece for us. So we didn't want to not get the ShiftSetGo message out there. Emily does most of the talking during the podcast anyways, telling us a story about how they got from where they were to where they are today. So we're really excited to have ShiftSetGo on and Emily, and just want to make sure that everybody's patient with any of the mic errors that come through. We're actually doing some re-recording to fill some of the gaps. So enjoy the podcast. Today, we've got Emily Countryman from ShiftSetGo. Emily, so great to have you. Jumping straight in, tell us about ShiftSetGo. What is the company? What are you doing? How does it work?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So ShiftSetGo is a weight loss coaching company, and we started actually in 2011. So it's been quite a journey. We started as just me, myself, and I. So I guess I shouldn't say we, but I'm saying we now because I have a large team. My husband's full-time in the business as well. So when I started, I was using a kind of third-party program. It was a weight loss program that I had kind of stumbled across. I was running a chiropractic office at the time, and I had asked the doctors, hey, can I please bring this in? I think this is something that the patients need. I mean, obviously, we all know the stats about obesity. It's just getting worse every year. So, go back to 2011, it was still not great. 60-70% of Americans were overweight. Now it's 70% plus. And they said, no, absolutely not. We hate everything about this. So I said, okay, how about if I just do it myself and I rent a room here? And they kind of begrudgingly said, okay, whatever. So I brought it in. My initial investment was around $5,000. So a little nerve-wracking. I had very low salary. I was running the office there, but it started to take off. I did the program myself. So I was my first client and coach and started sharing it with other people. So about a year and a half later, I had moved it out of that office into sort of a medical professional type building. It was maybe 140 square foot, so really tiny little office space. And it just kept going and growing. And in 2016, so about 5 years later, so again, it was just kind of me, myself, and I for that first little bit, I moved it into what I call now like the quote, good location. So all of our offices now are in brick and mortar, like the plaza where you would see Starbucks, then you would see a ShiftSetGo, then you would see an AT&T, Qdoba, that type of atmosphere. And so from 2016 to 2018, that's when my husband joined full-time in 18, and we just scaled and went to 6 locations. And then in 2019, we decided to cut out that other program. It just really wasn't serving the needs of our clients anymore. We didn't really align with it. And we decided to do it ourselves. And so that's when the actual ShiftSetGo was born. We were just named a wellness center prior to that in 2019. And we now have we have about 50 plus wholesale accounts that offer our program in their clinics to their clients, their patients. We have our 6 locations. And then thanks to COVID, decided to do a virtual program in 2020 as well. And so now we have that going also. So there's a lot of different facets to what we're doing, but the nitty gritty of it is that it's a weight loss program where the clients come in for coaching, they use our program and they use our products, and they get extremely great weight loss results.
Tell us about that customer. Who makes up your customer today? We talk a lot about not trying to sell features to people as an entrepreneur, but instead to try to address their problems. Who's that core customer that you've historically been working with? And what are their key problems that you want to target in your marketing when you go after them?
Mm-hmm. So we call her the 50/50. So it's a female. First of all, we take care of about 80% females in our business. The other 20% are usually her husband, but she's about 50 with about 50 pounds to lose. So we do really specialize in somebody that has about 50 to 100 pounds to lose. So more they've kind of hit that obese status on the BMI scale. And she's really looking more for a true health change, not a fad diet. We are the furthest thing from a fad diet. And we are actually there holding her hand through the entire process. So something that she's looking for is not another Nutrisystem, not her mom's Weight Watchers where you go in and everyone sees your weight and you're in a big group atmosphere. Ours is all one-on-one. It's individual, customized to them. And they have their own coach throughout the process, actually helping them, providing value, providing that accountability. And so we know she's going to get to that goal of losing that 50, 60, 80, 100 pounds. Then we're there for her throughout maintenance, which for us, we say is lifetime. And we've been in business 11 years now, and we still have some of those clients from the very beginning that I started in 2011 maintaining their weight because they still have a coach there for them. So how we're addressing the client is obviously speaking to that woman who's 50 with about 50 pounds to lose. She is so frustrated with all the other diets that she's tried. She feels like this is where she's going to be stuck at forever, and she's not feeling good. She's feeling kind of sluggish, lethargic. She probably has high blood pressure or prediabetes, or she already has type 2 diabetes. And she's worried. She's 50. Is she going to make it to 80? She's not sure if she keeps going on this path. And so that's where we can intervene. And as cheesy as it is, it's completely life-changing for our clients because they're getting their health back. And you can't really put a price tag on that.
When you coach somebody, what is the makeup of the coaching? Is it primarily diet? I know caloric deficit is the number one way to lose weight in my mind, but you like to see the exercise portion also taking part in people's lives for cardiovascular reasons and so on. But what makes up the coaching engagement with your customers?
Mm-hmm. So they get that one-on-one coaching every single week when they do the program, whether it's virtual, so they're meeting on Zoom, but most of it is in person at our clinics. And most of it is that they're getting that accountability. So they have somebody that they are accountable to. They don't want to let their coach down and say, forget it, I threw in the towel this week. But sometimes it happens. That's life. And so the coach is there to help educate them, help put a plan together for the next week to help kind of figure out, okay, where did we get derailed this week? What can we do if that's coming up again this week? What tools can we put in place? So they're really there educating the client. But also we do a lot of, it's so much more mindset than it is just, okay, eat less, move more. How many times have we heard that, right? We all know that, but we don't do that. And so that's where the coach comes into play as kind of that missing link. So yes, they're teaching about the nutrition, about what they're going to be eating. And that's kind of like slowly dosed out throughout their program. Typically that 50 pounds they need to lose is going to take them 6-7 months. So they're getting a little bit of education every week when they come in. We don't want to spray it at them like a fire hose. So by the time they get to maintenance, they're much more educated on what different foods will do for their body, how they're going to feel if they eat different foods. They're understanding the macros better, just a lot of food education there. But when they get to maintenance, also, they have more strategies in place. We do a lot of tools from cognitive behavioral therapy. Now, we are coaches, we are not counselors, but there's a lot of little tools that we can help when it's talking about sabotaging thoughts, because that's a huge one where clients get in trouble. I mean, all of us, right? It could be an entrepreneurship, we're having imposter syndrome. So whenever these things come up, the coach is there listening, reading their body language and going, something's happening here. And so we have a list of 20, 30 different sabotaging thoughts. So they'll address one of them and say, is this sounding like what you're saying? And kind of repeating it to them, saying, all right, so let's set it in your phone or the sticky note or wherever it needs to be, this new healthy response. And so they're working on that a lot too. And then another thing we've only kind of scratched the surface of, and again, because we're not counselors, we're coaches, and there's a very definite line there that we don't want to cross. But we've started to notice there's a lot of trauma involved with what got them to be overweight in the first place. So just looking for cues of that and providing the client different resources. And most of our clients do very well if they are seeing a mental health therapist at the same time as their coach. So that coach is just the person that they're there to lean on. Our program does have some physical component to it, more so in maintenance, because again, most of our clients, they're coming in 50 to 100 pounds overweight. They might have a bad hip, a bad knee. We're not going to tell them, go run 5 laps a day now, right? They're going to say, absolutely not. I don't want to do that. So it's all nutrition based with talking about and kind of gearing up for some form of physical activity. Maybe it's that they're going to start going on hikes after they've lost about 20 pounds and that inflammation is down and they're feeling able to do that. But it's nutrition that's taking the weight off for them, and then more physical activity when they're in maintenance to help maintain it.
And do you have different set of scales of engagement with your program? Are there different price points where people can enter, whether it's full-time coaching, part-time coaching? What is the commitment level for somebody that's coming in? Because you're including coaching, which is high value, high touch endeavor, but you're also including actual products like real food for these people.
Yeah. So we have multiple types of programs, but it's all, when it comes down to it, the same price, and they're getting the same amount of products every week. But we have our Shift Mamas program, and that's for breastfeeding moms after they've had their baby. We have our Shift Modified program if maybe they have more health concerns and need to do the program. So we have a lot of customizations within it. However, when a client does the program, they're going to meet with their coach once a week. They're going to have access to a support group, to our app, to be able to call, email, text their coach on the off days that they're not meeting with them. And then they're getting 3 meals a day from us for the week, and that's $119 a week. So that is the only program that we offer because we know that that's going to work the best for their goals. So if it's somebody that maybe said, I have 5 or 10 pounds to lose and I'm not that interested in coming in every week, then this wouldn't be the program for them. But if it's someone who says, I have 40, 50, 60 pounds, 100 pounds to lose, I need that support, then this is going to be an excellent program for them. And it's, obviously very fairly priced. You could probably barely get groceries for that these days. And then it's really not a bad price point at all.
I think it's cheaper than groceries.
It might be.
That's awesome. Okay, to pivot a little bit, you've been doing this since 2011. What were you doing to acquire people early on that gave you the success, and were the huge moments or triggers that helped you grow, or was it just consistency? What was working for you to get from where you started in the chiropractor's back office room to where you are today?
It's mainly been this whole time word of mouth from referrals. So we track all of our new clients. Where did they come from? So we look at all of our KPIs every month, and still to this day, it's about 65 to 70% referral based. And that's because people are getting such incredible results, and it's so visible, right? You could see your coworker and see them a few weeks, few months later and do a double take like, wait, I didn't recognize you. So if you are someone who also wants a transformation like that, you're going to ask that person, hey, well, what are you doing? I need to know your secret. And so that's where we get the majority of our clients. As we started building the locations, we would get actual walk-in business, meaning, they'd just drive by us, they'd see the sign, look us up on Google and go, oh, wow, they have 5-star reviews. This is legit. And come in that way. We have barely done any marketing. More of our marketing efforts have been on just the retention, making sure we have the best quality program for our clients, the best quality products, all the tools that they're going to need to continue to be successful. We're always doing more program enhancement for all of our programming. But yeah, it's been very little marketing. It's been hugely just word of mouth and referrals.
We talk about this all the time. The number one thing you can do, especially early on in your business, is to serve your audience. So if you have a clear target person that you're going to serve, and you have a solution that is truly adding value to that person that you're serving, if you just focus on that, the audience is going to be your biggest catalyst to the next stage in your business life cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, based on where you're at, you've definitely built a lot of products. You're basically an expert in the field of perishable foods, consumer consumables. How did you go about building out this particular product set?
Yeah. So our initial product launch back into 2019, early 20, was just knowing what had worked well in the past with the other program we were using. And so reaching out to different manufacturers to get some of our best sellers, to get variations on that we knew would work well, if not better, for our clients. So that's how we went out with the big launch of everything. But then it's just really been listening to our clients. What does she want? What does she need as she continues through the life cycle of our business? Yes, weight loss is the number one concern that she has, but we know, okay, we could take care of that. That's easy. But now what does she need as she's, going through that process and getting into maintenance? Does she need different food products there? So we have slightly different things for our maintenance clients. We have, like you mentioned, the collagen. We have an immune drink that is delicious with a little boost of green tea in it. So that's one that I do every day as well. And so we survey our clients once, twice a year. We're listening to them because we do have that benefit of literally speaking to them every week. So we're hearing if they're trying to buy another product off the grocery shelf or somewhere else going, oh, okay, they're looking for something like this, or us knowing what supplements work well to do different things and coming out with new products for them. I enjoy that side of it, and just seeing what the manufacturers are coming out with, what the food scientists are coming up with, and figuring out what would work best for our clients. So that part to me is just really fun, and we can get enough for them that it might not be a fit for every single client, but we know that there's benefit there and it's going to help a lot of them. So we have probably 100 SKUs or more by now, and not all of them are for everyone, but they have different needs along the way. So we have something there for them.
What is your number one SKU that everyone gets all the time?
Our top few would be what we call our fluffy nutter bar. It's a peanut butter protein bar. And so that's something when they're on the program, most clients are picking that every single week. And then we have a chocolate or a vanilla shake that we call ready to drink. It already has the liquid in it versus the protein that you have to shake up. And those are some of our top few products. And then kind of more those standalone products that somebody would buy if they're not on the full weight loss program would be, we have fuel bars that people do when they're in maintenance or exercising, and those sell like wildfire.
Interesting. So you mentioned COVID. It affects every business, or did affect every business. That was clearly your catalyst to really diving into the e-com online space for coaching and for product sales, because you had been so heavily in person in Washington State. Can you talk a little bit about how that process has worked for you and what's next in the e-com online coaching space for you guys?
Yeah. So, with COVID being here in Washington, they were a little more strict than most other states. So we physically got shut down and we couldn't see our clients in person anymore. So it was funny because at the beginning of 2020, we said, okay, we're going to do virtual this year and we're going to do e-commerce this year. And it was kind of going to do it at the end of the year and just start to think about it. It really wasn't our focus just then. And then obviously in an instant, it was 100% our focus. So we we had the worst e-commerce. It was so duct taped together. But, literally overnight, we had to tell all of our clients that were coming into the office on Monday, you're not coming into the office. You're going to meet your coach on Zoom, and we're going to do curbside pickup. So people would literally email their orders in, call, do it over the phone. And we barely kind of pieced together an e-commerce site to get them to be able to do that. So Not the way I'd recommend doing it, but clients were very forgiving during that time to all businesses. I think everyone wanted to support small business during that time. So it kind of showed us, okay, where are the holes in this and what can we fix? And then from there is when we just kind of kept going. And when we could go back in person, I would say probably 80 to 90% of our clients did do that. They were missing that in person, that connection. It's just so different from Zoom. But some of them wanted to stay virtual. And then from there, we said, okay, we can now actually do this with clients that have moved. We're in Washington, so we have a lot of snowbirds in Arizona. We can do this with now their mother that lives in Texas or their cousin that lives in Florida. And so again, it was just word of mouth telling clients like, hey, we can do this virtually. We already had a warehouse at that point because we were doing the wholesale side of it, which again, we had just launched in January of 20, so that we were still kind of working the kinks out of. But we knew we were able to ship to them and they can do their Zoom visit. So we can really make a go of this. And so it was really for the next year of working on that and then building out a much, much better e-commerce site. So we use Shopify now and everything. I don't do a lot of the tech side of it, but I know it's all optimized and it's been a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of time, but it's there now and doing well. So that was a good push that we needed to get it going.
When COVID happened, did you lose any significant amount of customers because of the pandemic, or did everybody basically, for the most part, stay with you?
We lost them for like a pause. Everyone kind of took a break. I think a lot of people were concerned about finances. What's the future going to look like? What's happening? A chunk of them didn't switch to the online, the curbside pickup, us shipping to them. But and it was probably late 2020, early 21, when I think people realized this is here to stay for a while and our health is actually extremely important. I mean, we just had a health pandemic. Health is something that should be on all of our minds and getting our bodies to as healthy as they can be. So 2021 was our best year ever. I mean, everyone came back in droves. Our wholesale's rocking it because they're seeing a lot of clients in their businesses for the clinics that we have throughout the country. So I think everyone kind of said, okay, we took our little break, did the joke of the COVID-19 gain, right? And then realized, okay, this is not good. We need to be healthy for our future, especially if there is another health pandemic that comes along. We saw all the stats afterwards that people that had comorbidities and obesity were much more likely to either get sick or die from that versus people that were at a healthy BMI or didn't have all those comorbidities. So I think that message really hit home in 2021 for everyone.
So switching to online, how does that change your business? How does that change acquiring customers, or what new challenges does that create for your business? When you think about growing, there's obviously this unlimited opportunity in e-com, but how do you really get there? What's the plan for you guys?
Yeah, and it's so different to us because we are so good at brick and mortar. I could open 10 more locations this year if that was the direction we wanted to go. I have the floor plan, I have everything, I know the marketing plan, that part we could do in our sleep, but the online world is just so new to us. We've not done a lot in marketing. So that is something that right now we're kind of piecing together. Okay, how are we going to scale this so that our virtual side is as big as our brick and mortar side, if not larger? I mean, the overhead is so much smaller doing virtual than it is to build out a whole new location, staff it, stock it. I mean, that is a huge undertaking every time we do a new location. So definitely virtual is our path to the next level of growth for us. And that's kind of where we're at right now, is figuring out what is that plan to acquire the clients. Dieting and weight loss, it's very spammy. It's very little trust in that industry. So really it's about just kind of building our brand to people that see us online for the first time, building that know, like, and trust versus a buy this, lose 10 pounds, buy this, lose 20 pounds. I mean, that area is so saturated and no one believes it. It's just too spammy. So just showing the people that we've shown in office how much we care, how trustworthy the business is, the results that we get from this program, and translating that online so we can kind of build our reputation with people is kind of the path that we're going to take. And then just looking at more and different marketing things to do, maybe an agency or just different marketing tactics within the business, and just figuring out this whole e-com online world because it's very new to us.
Quick little preface here. This section is longer and of poor quality, but there are some really good nuggets in here of value. So we didn't want to cut it. Bear with us. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I think the major asset that you have here is you have all these existing customers, these success stories, these testimonials that you can bring to this audience, right? Or you can bring to someone else's audience. So online, a lot of the smart people will have to partner with other influencers, right? In the e-com world, they'll work with somebody that has 100,000 followers that they actually follow for a reason and believe in them for a reason. And if they start to tell your story, the ShiftSetGo story to their audience with testimonials, you can probably see that audience start to convert to you. So leveraging some of these influencers could be a good strategy. Mm-hmm. Just doing lead magnets too. We talk about this at Forrest and Harold. We're doing one right now, a 7-day Modern Man challenge. But you guys could do some of those lead magnets as well, where you create maybe a shortened lose 5 pounds in 30 days challenge. Mm-hmm. If you do that, they will convert to the ongoing program. You know, some of the other things we talk about are using what we call front end products that you can either break even on or make a small margin or maybe even lose money, knowing that the lifetime value of that customer, if you can get them through the door, is going to create enough profit that it's worth acquiring them. So using some of your high volume products would be these front end products. So if you have a collagen supplement or some of those peanut butter bars, you know, you can sell those on even Amazon, you know, at some level, if not your own website or Google Marketplace, whatever it may be, and get those people to convert to use a single product and find ways to do inserts or whatever it may be to convert them onto your email list, put them in an email automation, and a certain percentage of them will convert to you. One of my mentors, Greg Johnson, he does a giveaway every month. So he set up an advertising process where you can set a giveaway. So maybe it's a package of a bunch of products that are high converters for you. So they really engage quickly with your target audience. Do an email capture that's simple through some of the social media networks, and then actually give those away to people. And then the rest of the people that don't win the giveaway get a chance to start with the first 2 months free or whatever it may be that works for you guys. But it builds that asset base, that builds that email list that you can go back after to try to continue to convert, that you can continue to own. We talk about this in the capitalism incubator all the time about also trying to start with the audience that's warm and not just go straight after cold audiences. Cold audiences would be like just doing Facebook ads, just doing Google keyword ads. It's going to be the most expensive, hardest to convert audiences. So if you can go after warm audiences with influencers as an example, or get your existing list to share you out to the people that they know, those are all going to convert at a higher rate to sort of get that flywheel started to get you going. And then from there, it's just about how much you reinvest back in, how big you want to grow it. But that's an exciting opportunity because your audience is just so big. Mm-hmm. Like everyone is worried about their weight, right? Let's be honest, especially 50-year-old women, right? Like you just have to imagine that everyone is worried about this. There's some key topics that we talk about all the time. It's health, wealth, relationships, and style. We throw style in there because of Forrest and Harold. Look good, mm-hmm. feel good. And that kind of relates back to health. Health, weight is one of those key pain points that everyone is always thinking about. Mm-hmm. So for you guys, it's just, how do you even slow down the growth potentially of how fast you reach? So you're getting the right people in the door that are going to give you the right testimonials and follow through with it in a successful way.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
I know. We have a lot of paths we can take. So coming into this online world was just kind of, oh my gosh, so many different things we can do. And it's kind of funny that we've never done most of them in the past. I know it always kind of surprises people. They're like, wait, your whole business is built on referrals. So, it's exciting now that we can put all these different tools and strategies into play and just see, sky's the limit where we can go from here.
What's the number one thing that you're working on right now? Is it a product that you're launching that's new? Is it a referral source? Is it getting on Amazon? For the audience that's listening to this, what should they know that's coming from you here in the near future?
Yeah, right now we are working on launching our program called Shift 50, and that is for somebody that has 50 pounds they want to lose. It's a 6-month program. So rather than coming in weekly, meeting with their coach and doing it on a week-to-week basis, because we never have contracts or timelines tied to our program, because it could be 30 pounds, 80 pounds, it's individualized. We do also do this program twice a year called Shift 50. And so that we're going to be doing kind of like a challenge webinar for it in November. I don't have the exact date yet, but they could just go to our website, ShiftSetGo.com, because we'll have sign up information on there when we have the date set. And then doing some Small Biz Saturday, Black Friday type deals for early signups. And then that group is going to start January 1. Run for 6 months. They're still meeting with their coach every week. They just also get a couple extra perks in there for being part of that Shift 50 group. And so we launched that this year for 2022, and it went really well. There's just so many people that have that 50 pounds to lose. So 40 to 60 pounds you want to lose in 6 months. It's for women only, even though men can do our regular program, but they're having a private group for it as well. So they have a guest expert every month, different talking points, things like that. It's very specific to women, but that's the next big thing that we have coming up again, that we're doing a couple different promos and launches for.
That is fantastic. I will be putting together a YouTube video about the products and the coaching and everything else as well. You guys have graciously sent over some stuff for us to show the audience, some of the products as an example. If somebody wanted to find you, they're going to ShiftSetGo.com. Where else can people find you?
Yep, we don't use Instagram much. We do use Facebook. It's / or @ whatever, ShiftSetGo. That's where we are online everywhere. And then we have a newsletter that we send out, really great recipes, tips in there. And again, they can just join that from our website, or we have a Facebook group, but it's for clients only. It's a support group, but that's where we spend most of our time, is supporting clients in there.
And people can buy actual products outside of the coaching on your website.
Yep.
Where can they buy those?
We've started to dabble in Amazon. We have our 3-day metabolic reset kit on there, and I think that's about it so far. Just trying to figure out the ins and outs of that. But I think just our website's probably the best spot to grab anything.
That sounds great. And obviously, it's going to be even better to have you guys back here, maybe in the new year, maybe after this coaching program's off the ground and going that you were just telling everybody about. And we can talk more about how e-com launch is going, how the coaching is going. Mm-hmm. If you have any new products, we'd love to hear about them and tell the community. So I appreciate your time and having you here. Emily Countryman, ShiftSetGo.com. Go check it out. Check out our YouTube channel, see the products. I'm going to put them up there as well as on Facebook and Instagram. Emily, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there. If you found this podcast helpful, I would appreciate it if you took a minute to leave a review. This increases the reach to more entrepreneurs and other people interested in the products, brands, entrepreneurial stories, and their successes, so we can create even more positive small business outcomes. Take a screenshot, tag me in your social stories to friends. This means the world to me to know this podcast has influenced your day and life in a positive way, and that we get to be a part of your own journey. With gratitude from me, until next time, go make it a great day.